pleasant morning to you all, my dear children. Welcome back, you all, to the online classes of moral science. And I hope that all of you have purchased the new book. In previous class, we have completed our chapter 1, Praying to God, in which we have learned how to pray, when to pray, what are the benefits of doing prayer, why prayer is essential for us, and so on. And I hope that after learning the chapter Praying to God, all your queries related to prayer was solved. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Take out page number 9 of your moral science book. And the next chapter is Everything Happens for the Best. This chapter contains a beautiful story, my dear children. And the story is: once there was a king who was very kind hearted and fair. He had a leader who was very clever but God fearing. Wherever the king goes, he always took his leader with him. Whenever something happened, the leader always say everything happens for the best, and that became a habit for both of them, for king also and for leader also. The king was loved to do hunting. One day both of them went for hunting, and while killing an animal, the finger of the king was cut and started bleeding. As leader in his habitual style said, everything happens for the best. On hearing these words of his leader, the king was very angry with him and ordered his soldiers to put him into prison. As the leader was being taken to the prison, he smiled and said again, everything happens for the best. After hearing this, the king was very surprised. After few days, as hunting is the hobby of the king, he again went for hunting, but this time he was alone. His leader was not with him. The king was so busy in hunting that he went into the deep forest and entered enemy's area. The tribal people caught the king and took him before their leader. The tribal leader asked their people to make the king for sacrifice to their god or goddess. So, before taking the king, one of the tribal people noticed that the king do not have one finger. He said to his leader that he has only 4 fingers on his left hand. The tribal leader examined his hand and declared the king unfit for sacrifice. The king was left uninjured. Then the king realized that he had done mistake by sending his leader to the prison. He ordered his soldiers to make his leader released. The king said to his leader that I now understand the meaning of your words. Everything happens for the best. It's because I lost my finger. That's why I was escaped by the tribals. But can you explain why you said the same when you were being sent to the prison. He explained to the king that whenever you are going for hunting, you take me along. If I were there with you this time, the tribals would have killed me, as I am perfectly fit for their sacrifice. The king was satisfied with the explanation and made him his leader again. Yes, dear children, whatever takes place is for the best. Nothing happens without God's knowledge. He knows everything. He allows even evil things to happen, but with good reasons. We must accept happily everything that God gives us, considering it to be for our own good. We may not at the time be able to see the good side, but God sees. In negative situations, we always abuse our luck. When things don't work as we want, we say that God is unkind and cruel. We often ask God for different things. Sometimes He gives us what we ask for, other times He doesn't. He gives us only whatever is good for us. We must learn to accept His will. Now, what is the moral of the lesson, my dear students? Loss of one thing results in the gain of another. The chapter name is itself the moral of the story, that whatever happens in our life, it is for the goodwill of ours only. So, whatever is going on in our life, we must enjoy every moment of our life, whether it is good or bad. Every situations in our life has some reasons. Okay, my dear children, we came to an end of this chapter, hoping that all of you have understand the lesson properly and follow this moral in your life. Okay, now in next class we will proceed further. Okay, thank you students for hearing me.